Hello, everybody. Thank you for being patient. I took Apollo on a walk. We had a chat with a neighbor, and I was like, I got to get back. We got a live stream to do. So I hope everybody's doing well. This is a nice impromptu reading to kind of help us jumpstart the next month. I'm going to put Apollo down so we can chat. My name is Nicholas Ashbaugh. If you're brand new, I do weekly, monthly, and daily readings, but sometimes I do special ones like this. And it's basically a pulse on the energy at this moment in time. We have 1 month left in this year. Let's make the most of it, folks, right? I'm looking at chat right now to see what's going on. It seems like some of you are working with healing, which I think is something great to focus on. Letting go of old relationships, I like that as well. And let's see what else is going on. Feel free to kind of leave some comments in chat. By the way, this is members first. Everybody can watch and everybody can comment later, but I like to give back to my members once or twice a month as well. So thank you to all the members present as well. As always with a monthly reading like this, or not a monthly, but an impromptu, what I really want to do is just take a pulse and look at the Celtic cross to see what's coming through. So let me move my keyboard to the side. Let's take a look at the cards and see what's going on in this moment in time. And then from there, I'll kind of take a look at your questions and we'll pull a few random cards based on what the community kind of seems to be going through in this moment in time. Welcome. Good to see everybody. Decision time. We've got justice right at the center. I'm going to leave it like that. This is kind of interesting because there's some control dynamics going on here as well. So I love this deck, but it's difficult to shuffle. And because it's a fancy deck, I actually just don't kind of like put it through too much when I'm doing the reading. So it'll take me an extra minute. Unlike some readers that kind of like torture their decks, if I have a really nice one, I treat it with kindness. All right, so we're just going to do the Celtic cross plus one extra card here to kind of get a pulse, like I said. And do this one. Again, this reading's for everybody that's present. I may do a quick elemental check-in as well and then get into the questions. But think of it as like a mini collective. The focus here is on really how to have a great end to the year. So this is a chance for us to look at what we need to finish in the next 30 days before we hit the new year so that we can really start the next one on the right foot, right? So let me just get my monitor on the side ready so I can make sure that you can see me and we'll go from there. All right. Thank you so much. Apollo gave me a couple minutes here late, but it's all good. So we're going to start off first with your catalyst here. Wow, we have an alien coming through. It says, the blue beings, light transmission rather. Wounds are ready to be healed. And I saw healing being one of the sort of areas that many of you want to focus on. Important information, charging up. So we can kind of look at this as a symbol of higher consciousness and also thinking beyond the known, like going into the energy of the unknown. Because there are things in this world that we still have not seen or understood or experienced. And this extraterrestrial, which we can kind of think of as extraordinary energy coming through, is saying, you know, don't limit yourself just by what you think is possible, by what you've been told is possible. Really open yourself up to the highest possible opportunity that might be knocking. And then many of you, in order to get to that energy of light transmission, have to focus on the healing. It's interesting, and I feel like since this is a special, you know, more kind of intimate reading, we can talk about this, but I constantly put inner child healing as a special topic, never comes through. Or like healing the wounds, no one ever wants to look at that. So this is kind of the universe coming through saying, do that now. Do that now, and by doing that, you can pull in new people, opportunities, and things of that nature that have already done that sort of homework. So you don't have to clean up messes. You won't be on mop duty. You'll basically just be reaping the rewards, okay? Let's look at the really interesting combination. So we have like 3 cards in the center. The first one is about, and these are kind of like in opposition, because this King of Wands, oh, it's not the devil. Interesting that it looks like the devil, and this is actually a creature in the movie that is, so I'm glad we put it here. Okay, so it's actually decision and empowerment, but there may be someone challenging authority, because I read this and I thought devil when I saw it. All right, justice. Unlike judgment, it's a chance to make a decision. It's not being handed to you. If you're looking to others for, what you should be doing or what the next thing is, this card is coming through saying, it's you. It's always been you. You're the decider. You're the one that is going to figure out if you like it or if you don't. At the end of the day, at the end of your life, you're the one that also judges the path that you've walked. So what's right for you? What feels right on a soul level? What's legitimately the right thing? Because justice is about following rules, making decisions that are kind and just. So do what's right for you, find more life and work balance in your life, and also make the decision. Here's what's coming through challenging this on some levels. So the King of Wands is one of the ultimate bosses, second only to the Emperor. So we have power struggles coming through. And there may be someone here who seems really, really intimidating, but this card is more powerful than this card because it's major arcana energy. So there could be someone that comes in and puffs their chest or pushes forward their sort of whatever it is, whether they have a title or they feel entitled or whatever. You're just going to have to meet that eye to eye with a sort of calm neutrality, because this Emperor, he's not bothered. He's looking at that person like, okay, that's your point of view, or that's how you want to come at it. I have a different approach. So you're not going to meet sort of that high intensity energy with more high intensity. You're going to show a different way. So show your wisdom and your experience. Feel that sense of empowerment, and you can meet whatever challenge it is head on. Now, if we just take out the power struggle, not everyone's going through one. This is a card of innovation. Not clear in this particular illustration, but I'll pull up the traditional card here in just a moment. The King of Wands is good at thinking his way out of a challenge, thinking of something that no one else has, trying something that no one else has. And when he's speaking from a place of passion and excitement, he can pull other people into that. On the weekend, or maybe recently, I can't remember if it was the weekend or maybe it might have been the Pisces reading. I was talking a little bit about geckos. They actually make an appearance on the King of Wands card. So I'm trying to find him real quick so we can chat about it. But here it is. Lizards and geckos are cool because they have the ability to basically release their tail if they're in danger, and they can grow it back like a starfish. Not all lizards and geckos, but most. And so you have this ability right now, if you need to cut your losses, to walk away from someone or something that doesn't serve or suit you, and create your own path. And if you lost something or missed out on something, you can regain that. This is a regenerative king. Something that doesn't get talked about all the time when we see it, because people will sort of like gloss over the salamander, lizard, or gecko on the card. There is a reason that all these things are on there. So you have a chance to bounce back. And the important thing is to just believe in yourself if you need to do that. And you can do it on your own, and you can cut losses. All of those things are really, really key. All right, deep past, karmic. This is, again, the last chance to kind of solve things before the end of this year. Page of Pentacles. Where are you at on something that matters to you? This could literally be your budget or money. It could also be a project or something that you want to start or create movement in. The Page of Coins is basically coming through and saying, are you ready? Are you doing it? Are you invested in it? You have to be invested for other people to get excited and to also be invested. So that's the one thing you want to look at. Is there something from this year that you meant to do but haven't done? Particularly when it comes to money or personal development or education. That this card is not just about cash or exchange. It's also about all of those things too. Then we take action. So this is the communication, or just basically saying to yourself, I want to do it. This is doing it. And so the Knight of Swords, really good for speaking what's on your mind, cutting through any sort of red tape or anything that's not just and right, because we did have justice here at the center. Not being afraid to speak up to authority, since we had a couple of authority cards coming through. And we talked about this with yesterday's single card, or actually today's one card pull, speaking things into existence, writing them into existence, signing on the dotted line, all of those things here. So the universe really wants you to kind of like finish what you intended to finish and make sure that you're creating some goals for yourself here. In the crowning position, it's also about not getting overly excited or not letting anxiety get in the way. The Nine of Cups is a card of extremes often. It is a celebratory card. Typically, this comes through when you've done something right, and it's a chance to really go to a party or celebrate or have a moment of gratitude. But when reversed, there can be overindulgence or there can be punishing yourself too much. So let's avoid the extremes in this moment in time, and also pay attention to emotional happiness, stability, mental health. All of those things are really important to kick off the next year. So if you are feeling like you need some assistance in those areas, obviously, this is a time to focus on that. This is a card of persistence and perseverance, and not feeling like it's going to be tougher than it needs to be. The Nine of Wands is a card that can really accomplish anything, and oftentimes it's been through some hurdles. What happens with this card sometimes when I'm pulling for people is that you may be feeling like tension headaches. You may be thinking so much about something that it's just like a pain in your head, but not maybe literally. It's just sort of like you're tired of thinking about it. So release the stress and I would say, focusing on something so much, and just allow things to go in the direction that they need to. You've brought it like 90% of the way. Or if someone is trying to challenge you, this card is saying, you're going to meet that again with a sense of resilience. But you'll notice the bandage there. So it is about sometimes beating yourself up or overthinking it. We want to avoid that. And if there is anything like a migraine or a headache, obviously you'll get that checked out. But this is to kind of like use an example in mythology. It's like a phoenix rising from the ashes. A lot of challenge, a lot of issues, but comes back strong, fighting, and able to do it. Take a moment, rest, recalibrate, and see just how close you are to a goal coming to fruition, and don't give up, okay? Ten of Pentacles in reverse. This is you. It's actually good, but there's some interesting pieces coming through. In reverse, it's asking you, what's your motive? Why are you doing what you're doing? Is it for yourself, or is it to make others happy? Because the Ten of Pentacles is your friends and family, your coworkers, society. It's external pressure to meet certain standards. And sometimes, like as children, of course, we can fall into that feeling of like, I have to do this for others. But this is you. And the focus now is on, is it right for me at the end of the day? Because allowing someone else to vicariously experience life through your achievements doesn't mean that you'll be fulfilled. So this is a chance for you to really kind of question your own motives for job or extracurricular or just general decisions, including things like relationship status and marriage, and just say, am I ready for, and starting a family? Are you ready for all of those things? Because they're big commitments. The Ten of Pentacles is a commitment card. So if you want it, you can have it, but make sure it's for you. That's really all it is if I had to summarize what I said. Don't limit your potential, because the Ten of Pentacles is a valuable card. And, sometimes we question good things when they happen. A job, that might land in your lap, money that may come your way, love and relationship that might get serious. If you've done the work, you deserve this. And even if you don't think you deserve it, like energy attracts like energy. Someone else sees the worth in you perhaps before you see your own. So this is really just asking you to take a step back and look at it from a bird's eye perspective and think about, you just don't go through the motions, really be present with the blessing that's in front of you and decide what you want to do with it. There's no wrong answer here. The short of it is that there's a blessing, and there may even be a contract in front of you, because the Ten of Pentacles can be marriage or business contracts as well. And it's a good money card. So it feels like you guys are going in a right direction, and this is signifying your own worth, which I like as well. Okay. The Fool, taking a first step, starting something different, starting something new. For many of you who have also felt very frustrated by 2023, 2024 is offering a clean slate, a new exciting opportunity, a different direction. Maybe even for some of you, this sense of relief because it's change. And so what are you doing to change things up a little bit? Change should be part of this, but this is the most gentle change card. Unlike like Death or the Tower, or any of those that kind of almost push it on you. This is you walking towards something new. And that's pretty cool, actually. So think to yourself what it is that you'd like to walk towards. And so we don't need to do this on New Year's Eve. It's actually a lot more powerful if you start 30 or 31 days before New Year's and start setting the goals and intentions and meditating on it, rather than waiting for the last minute and the last second, the last hour of the old year, right? Let's do it now and think, what can I do to make sure that I'm stepping in to January 1st, already 1 foot into something new, rather than trying to play catch up, okay? Start now. So I'll translate it. Start right here, right now, okay? Ace of Cups, some of you are looking to just be happier. You might be calling in new relationships. You may have a creative bone that is starting to come through and you're like, I got to do this. I feel inspired. There's nothing negative about an Ace of Cups upright, and this is in the possibility space. Open your heart. There could be friendship, love, creativity, opportunity, or just the floodgates opening when it comes to your emotions in a positive way here. So I like it. I think this is a great card. If it was New Year's Eve and I was pulling this card, I'd be like, this is going to be a great year, folks. So for you collectively have this opportunity to be happier and to connect and open up the heart space more. That's really what this is saying in this moment, which is what we're doing, taking an energy pulse. All right. What's the biggest challenge when we're looking at the outcome? For many of you, it could just be this, who's the boss? Because the Five of Wands can be poor leadership. It can be competition. It can also be a lack of morale or momentum when it comes to something. So there's something around what you're either, it could be your relationship, it could be your job, it could be your living experience. There's something around you where it just feels like the hamster wheel, going through the motions, not getting anywhere. We want to unstick that sort of stuck energy. And sometimes it's just about rising above. You're one step away from the Six of Wands. You have like many, many leadership cards at the center. Justice in and of itself is a leadership card. The Emperor and the King of Wands. So if you're ready to lead something, you have the chance to really make this happen. It's interesting because a little preview, I haven't posted it yet, but I'll post it later tonight. Tomorrow's card is the Empress. So it is about development and leadership as well. So this is very much in tune with what we'll be looking at for Friday, but haven't posted it yet. So are you ready? Are you ready to do this? Are you ready to step into a leadership opportunity? This is very much kind of like in the weeds, so to speak. Nine of Wands, working really, really hard, like pedal to the metal, nose to the grindstone, pick whatever phrase you want, but it's like focusing too much, almost like you have the horse blinders on what's in front of you. And then the Five of Wands is competing, trying to be seen and heard. None of these are looking at the big picture. And then when we look at this, what is that hard work for some of you? Is it for yourself or is it for others? And that's kind of like the opportunity here that I'm seeing so far. Okay, let's reset this. So I'm trying to think if I want to leave these cards up here for a moment. I think I will, and we're going to do just a quick check on the elements, and then we'll kind of do a free form reading, and then we'll wrap it up. I like to keep these kind of short. I'll look at some of the questions in chat and see if I want to pull like a single card on some of the big topics there as well. All right, so we're going to move now on to the elements. This will help you get a little bit more granular view of what's going on with fire, earth, air, and water, and the signs beneath those. So let's see. This one. Okay. Let's give the cards a shuffle and see what's going on. Fire, earth, air, water. All right. So let's begin with my fire signs. Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. Some big changes. So for some of you, this could be a new home, a new job, a new relationship. It does not have to be negative. The Tower can be any type of major change, but it's usually big. Something really unique to this deck is the mask that's on this person. Some of you may simply have a revelation moment where someone removes their mask. It could be that they were hiding their love for you or appreciation. There could be someone that you held in high accord and then they just didn't kind of like show up the way you needed it. No matter how that mask is removed, it's showing you true value and potential so that you don't have to invest in something that's not worth it, or that you can now that you know the truth. You can't put something back into a box once it's out. It's like a jack-in-the-box that's spent. So there's something that needs to be seen that's coming out. There's a necessary change that needs to be made. And once you go with the energy of movement, then it's a nice reset and some really great things are on the horizon for you. So this is a time to embrace change, to get ahead of change. And because we're looking at that as a single card here for what you need to do this month and a little preview of next year, what I would say here is that don't wait for someone to ask. Say that you're ready. Do the research. Get ahead of stuff. One of the things I love about intuitive gifts is I don't have to see that future if I don't want to. So I get intuitive hits all the time, and when I don't like what I see, then I work on it. I'm like, I don't want that outcome. What can I do? What am I doing to affect that? What am I doing to call that in? And then I make a plan and I try it. And oftentimes you may not be able to completely escape the velocity of one future, but you can change it, you can mute it, you can sometimes open a new door. And any of those things are good. So get ahead of change to all of my fire signs and realize this can also be the birth of a baby. This can also be a proposal in love, and it can be you getting a better job at work. A tower is a significant change. It isn't always something that's negative. It's a surprise, but it isn't always something that's negative. So let's not demonize the tower here. It is something you have to embrace when it comes through, though. All right, that's it for fire. Let's move on to earth, Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn. Page of Swords, reversed. This is about not being overly negative, so being constructive in any sort of criticism for yourself or for others. It's about asking questions when you don't know an answer. It's about revising things. This is a great time for those of you working on a project to engage with an editor or with someone that can help you fix or adjust something. So seeking out expertise and criticism in a positive way. And then it's also asking questions and listening, because an upright page is really good at communicating. A reverse page is encouraged to listen. You can learn a lot by listening, by holding space, and by making also sure that you're being listened to. It goes 50-50 both ways. So make sure that you're an active listener and that you're being heard. And if you're not being heard, speak up and say, I have a question. And then if someone tries to interrupt, say, let me finish, please. Okay? Otherwise, pages are great for making connections. The only thing with the Page of Swords in reverse is you want to make sure that you're not missing cues and that you're not necessarily always the one that's waiting. Sometimes you have to be the initiator. So that's my messages here for all of the earth signs. Now let's move on to air. Gemini, Libra, and Aquarius. Some of you are finding new love. We have the Knight of Cups. It's a reverse Knight of Cups, which means that there's a little bit of internal self-confidence and self-healing to be done first. Some of you may have just gone through a really challenging moment in your life, and before you're ready for the partner opportunity, you have to heal, love, and repair. Some of you also need to work on the sort of self-worth thing where when it comes, again, you're embracing it and saying, yeah, you know what? I am worth this, all of this and then some. And it's also about asking for what it is that makes you happy, rather than waiting or assuming that others need to kind of like, figure that out. And it could just be love at an inconvenient, unexpected, or just unforeseen time. Sometimes the universe is like, shh, I have an upgrade for you. I have a plan for you. I have something exciting for you, and I want to surprise you. Even when you're intuitive, the timing can be surprising, or something about it. There's a little bit of a positive surprise here. So try not to lose your cool, because this can also be sort of like, if you've ever met someone that you really like, sometimes you're tongue-tied or weird things come out of your mouth. So just take a deep breath, smile, and remember to use your words. Just say hi or thank you. It's good to talk to them or ask them a question. Buy yourself time until you can ground yourself. There is a potential connection coming in, and it could be friendship, love, or work, but it's good. And there's something around it that's unusual or unexpected. because the universe wants to give you a little bit of a surprise there. Water, let's see what's coming in for you. So this is Cancer, Scorpio, and Pisces. You're nobody's fool. We have the Seven of Swords in reverse, which means you're seeing through a plan, or you're seeing the fine print on something that you don't like, and you're going to be able to avoid the scene in the Seven of Swords, which is typically deceit or being tricked. So this is why I read reversals, folks. So when the card is reversed, it's the opposite of that. It's being able to circumvent someone from doing this to you, and you're like, I don't have a good feeling about that person as a friend or as a colleague or as a potential boss, or I don't like whatever it is, whatever your intuition is, where you're like, I don't think that's the right thing. You want to like embrace that. It's going to save you time. If someone does something and you have a question, maybe about their motives, ask. Get it out. Put it out in the open. Let it see the light of day. Don't try to get away with something. This is the only thing that the universe is coming through and being super honest to you about, is like, if you try to have a secret or get away with something, it's going to see the light of day as well. So for many of you, you're just, again, seeing something that has to be fixed, addressed, or dealt with, and you don't have to go through that. To me, that's a blessing in disguise. It may not be exactly what you want to see, but it's good. Make sure you're also firming up things like security and whatnot, because Seven of Swords energy looks for a hole, looks for a way in. And if you make sure that you're very buttoned up when it comes to matters like that, whether it's cybersecurity, security of your house, intellectual property, legal things, just get it all firmed up so they can find someone else who hasn't done the work. Okay? And those are my messages for you in this moment in time. All right, let me clear the table, and I'm going to take a look at chat and see what some of you have been saying. And then we can pull a card or two on some of the general comments, and then we'll wrap it up. I like these to be kind of short and easy for you to look at when you need them. And again, let me know if you're enjoying this sort of perk for membership. Because I like to be inclusive on the channel, again, everybody can attend and everybody can watch it later and comment. All right, so let me just take the graphic off. Let's take a look and see what some of you are chatting about at this moment. And maybe I'll feature one of the questions here. So as I'm scanning through it, I like the one about healing. I think we can absolutely look at that one right now. So let's do that first, and then I'll go to the next one as I'm looking at your questions. All right, so a question around healing. What do we need to know if we're focusing on healing in this moment in time? All right, there's a cyclical nature to this right now. So the Eight of Cups comes through a lot of times when history has a way of repeating itself. And you don't have to keep doing it. So for some of you, it could be a relationship where it's just the same behavior, or you're in a job and you keep hoping that things will shift, but they don't. So if you've given someone, or again, maybe it's a place that you're working or something like that, person or a place, ample time to improve, but it hasn't, this is about breaking the cycle. This is also saying that taking some time to yourself, just like we see in this illustration, could be really, really advantageous. You're overdue for a holiday because this card was reversed. So whether it's a holiday or whether it's stepping away before making a decision. So if someone pressures you, like, we need a decision right now, you can just say, I need at least to sleep on this. This is major, especially if you're going to move, or if you need to check with a family member or your partner or whatever. So get yourself the time that you need, so you don't, anyone that pushes you that much, that also seems fishy to me. So you should always have the benefit of consideration and space. Get that. But a holiday, a break, and just an understanding for many of you that the cycle's over if you choose it to be over. And that's the message here for healing. Okay? Let's see what other things you guys are going through in this moment in time. So that was a great one, by the way. Motivation. I like that. I think we can all get behind sometimes feeling a lack of motivation. So very good general question. That's the kind of things that I'm looking for, because I think we can all benefit if we're watching here. So someone here is lacking motivation. Okay, the Eight of Wands is a really interesting card with respect to motivation, because there's a lot of different people involved. Sometimes you'll see these almost like rocket ships flying through the air. There's a few decks. I think the Wildwood has it. I think the Little Prince also has it. There's some where you can actually see the community that's available with the Eight of Wands. It takes a village to kind of get this energy. So take a moment and slow down and appreciate that there's a bunch of other people around you. You could delegate so that you have more time and space to do what you need to do. Some of you are lacking motivation because it's just too much. Now, if you're just like, how do I get it started? For many of you, it's pick the easy win, and then the momentum will take you from there, because this is typically a card of momentum. So if there's too much going on and you just feel like, why do I even bother? Everyone else is doing this. Like, you just have to find your swim lane and go there. For some of you, you just have to get started. So find the easiest point of entry, do that, call it a win. Pick the next thing that you can do, call it a win. It's like cleaning a house, right? If you just go from room to room, nothing gets done. Start in the kitchen, start in the sink, get that clean. Get the counters clean, get the closets clean. Pretty soon you step back, the whole kitchen looks great. Then you can move on to the dining room. You don't do the whole house in random pieces. You do a room or a part of the room at a time. Approach whatever it is where you're lacking motivation in the same way. Start with the smallest win and keep orbiting out. Then the momentum should pick up, okay? All right, let's look at the next thing here. Manifesting love and abundance in their highest form. It feels like it's within reach because we saw some of that coming through for you. So let's see what the cards have to say about what's the block, what's the opportunity, etc. when it comes to love and relationships. So feeling like you have to control the timing, and this makes a lot of sense. So when you are finally at that point where you think, I'm open, I'm ready, and I've done the work. I don't need it right here, right now, and I don't need it to prove anything, and I don't have to force it. Because the Chariot in reverse is trying to like catch up or speed or change things up too much when we just need to allow things to kind of like take you in the right place at the right time. Trust now that you're going to cosmically align to a synchronicity. So once you've done the work and focus on something else, you don't know what might bring in your love. Your partner, future love, whatever, could come in because you've made another goal in your life, which could maybe be, for some of you, focusing on health. So you take a yoga or Pilates class, and after class one day you talk to someone and then they introduce you to someone, and that was how you found them. It wasn't from a dating app. It wasn't from hanging out at a bar. It was from something that was around self-empowerment and improvement. It could come from a work contact. It could come from something that you didn't even imagine. So what you've done now is said, I'm open, and it can come through any door in my life. Yes, you can do the apps and other things, but be looking in all directions, because it feels like you're trying to drive too much in one direction, and there's a lot of lanes in the highway and there's a lot of exits. So you don't know where that person might be coming from. Really be open, and that's going to help, okay? Slow down a little bit too, and have a lot of intention behind your decisions and your movements, and that's going to help you. All right, let's see what else is coming through here that we should focus on. All right, let's see. Breaking bad habits. I like that. I also think that's something that almost everybody watching can relate to, whether it's caffeine or alcohol or a lack of exercise or whatever the bad habit is. Let's take a look and see what Spirit has to say. Let me just figure out which deck I want to use. All right, how can we break a habit that doesn't serve us? That's a better way to put it, because we're not going to judge a habit. You just don't need it anymore. Okay, the Four of Pentacles is interesting because a lot of times we start doing something as a form of soothing. Typically that fourth pentacle that would be on this card would be right over the heart. They've done a different approach here where we see all of these locks, but that works too. So sometimes we hold on to something, we lock it into our life because we think to ourselves, I don't know what I'll feel like with the lack. A bad habit could be a friendship or relationship, the way this is all coming through to me. And so sometimes we keep that person in our life or that experience in our life because to be without it is to also have to look into the mirror and look around us and do the work basically. But know this, the Four of Pentacles is not enough. So whatever it is that you're doing, the value's gone there. So what you want to think about also is it could be the money. So if you're spending money on the habit, whatever it might be, if you took that and put it towards yourself in a positive way, a goal in a positive way, or just put it in the bank to do something fun with in the future, that in and of itself is motivation, because we got a money card or a resource card here. But the other piece and the more powerful one is the heart. And it's opening yourself up to receive more, which is now going much more sort of existential. It's about self-worth and trust. Trust that the universe won't leave you hanging, all right? So you can spend your time and energy on something better. This will help some of you that are trying to manifest love or work or something like that get it faster because you're not putting it into something that's distracting. All right. Let's see here if there's maybe one last one, and then we'll do a final card. All right, because I feel like I've covered most of what's here. Let's see. Maybe not. Maybe I'll just I'm not seeing anything else here. You guys are kind of quiet, which is fine. So what I'm going to do instead is see what Spirit wants you to focus on, and then we'll do a final card where you can meditate on a question. So the first one is, what do you need to know? Even if you don't know what to ask or you're afraid to ask. So what do you need to know? We've already looked at relationships. Someone's asking about that, so let me clear that out of here. What do you need to know in this moment in time? Very powerful. So at the center of this energy read, we had justice in the upright position. Judgment in the reversed is... it's very interesting. It's first of all saying release harsh judgments about yourself and others. It's not really up to you to fix people, and it's not up to you to please everybody. So you have to just be cool with who you are. And it's like, let bygones be bygones, let them choose their own path. It'll free up so much energy. And this has been something that's, as I've gotten older, definitely it's gotten easier. If someone wants to feel or think a certain way about me, good on them. It's really not my problem. And I don't need to focus that much on them. And if they don't want to connect with me or have an opinion, like that freed up some time for me. So I don't worry so much. Let people kind of like orbit out if they need to. The other thing with judgment is it's a call to action. So are you ready to answer the call? That's one thing. The other thing here is disbelief or disagreement. So when judgment is reversed, it's like, I don't believe it. I can't believe this is happening. So when it's something good, you do want to believe and you do want to embrace that. You're not stuck. It's not a dead end. This is a card also of renewal and rebirth and reinvention. So there's so many positive things. Embrace those. It's possible. There's so many great new things that could happen in this final month of the year and next year. And if there's something that's been stuck, really, really stuck this year, judgment is a card you want to see because it shows that now things are going to push through to the other side, literally something different, something better. So there you go. You have to believe in yourself, though. You have to believe in something, but in this case, believe in yourself. And that's what I'm getting for that. Now we're going to do a final card because I always like to add this in when I can. This is your chance to focus on one question that maybe you're like, Nicholas, I really want to hear this. So now's your chance. Focus on that final question. Let me just choose a different deck for this. And we'll see what Spirit has to say. Hello, Seven of Swords. It's been a minute. All right, maybe more than a minute, but we did get this earlier. So, as I've said before, some of you may be wondering if someone's going to finally be seen for who they are. Yes, this card is typically saying everything comes out in the wash, but it is really calling you to be accountable. So let's look at it in the best possible way, because it was also reversed. It was reversed before. So this is saying Don't begin until you're ready, and don't commit unless you really want it. So in a relationship, if you have let's say you've had a first date, for instance, there's no chemistry, let them know. Say, I had a great time. I appreciate it was wonderful, but I'm not feeling it. If you go on a job interview and you don't like it, you don't have to take that. Or whatever your commitment you're making, make sure that you feel like this is worth it. Don't start something that you can't finish. Don't get started on something when you're not ready. Also, whenever it comes to making a change in your life, particularly when it comes to health or finances, there has to be this moment of being really, really honest with yourself and saying, all right, I could have done better here and here, and I'm really 110% ready to not repeat that and to try this. So it's just a reality check to say, start it when you're ready. Don't start it until you're ready. That doesn't mean that you should or could keep doing what you're doing. It means just really make sure that you're prepared before starting. And you have a month to get into that headspace. If somebody's acting a fool or doing something that isn't right, this is a time to deal with that so that you're not carrying that energy into the new year. And ultimately, this is saying you've ended a cycle. For some of you that have kind of had a string of things where people haven't done what they said they were going to do, or they did the opposite, this is the end of that cycle. It is reversed. Don't second guess your intuition. If something smells fishy, trust it. If you specifically said, should I do something, the Seven of Swords indicates not now, not yet. There's something to look at. There's something in the details that you need to figure out first. So take a look at contractual details, and then the preparedness piece that I was talking about. Are you 100% ready for the challenge that this entails? Okay? We don't have to be scared of the Seven of Swords, but it does call our attention to all those little accountability pieces. All right? I don't really want to end on the Seven of Swords, so you get one more. And this is just basically the universe. We're going to look at one card for next year, and I'll probably do something different when I do my January readings, which I'll be starting on tomorrow. So I might pull quarterly, or I might pull an extra because I don't want them to get too long. I'll do something like this in all my Januaries. But right now, in this moment, what is the promise or the opportunity of the new year? If I get the Seven of Swords, I'm gonna I'm gonna laugh, but let's see what's coming through. Hold on a second. Let's go to a traditional Rider-Waite-Smith deck for this. Next year, one thing to focus on. Okay, we'll take it. Queen of Pentacles, what have you done for yourself lately? And what are you setting into motion for personal development next year? Because the Queen of Pentacles is about taking care of yourself, nurturing yourself. Especially for those of you that are nurses, teachers, counselors, healers, anybody that caretakes, like basically is someone that is focusing on other people. What are you doing for you? Because this card is connected with abundance, fertility, and growth. And we need to constantly also be working on ourselves so that we have more to give. So refueling and refilling the tank, but particularly when it comes to something developmental. It does not, and might even be better if it's not related to work. It's something for you. Ask for what it is that you need to be happy, to be supported. A lot of you hold other people up. This is your chance to say, I'm ready for this, or I need this, or whatever, okay? But ultimately, when you practice that and embody that, then you also become the energy here of the Queen of Pentacles, which is pretty powerful. She's good at manifesting and growing new things, okay? That's a good note to end on. I hope you all enjoyed this today. If you did, do me a favor, subscribe so you don't miss out on impromptus like this. Hit the bell icon and opt into all notifications because that's not the default. And everybody, if you can hit the thumbs up once, that'd be really helpful. You can also follow me on social media because I will post this afterwards in case anybody missed it so they can watch the replay. Thank you in advance. Everybody that's in chat is a member, so thank you to all of the members that are present. Thank you to anybody that gave back with the super sticker or super chat, or anyone that decides to become a member later. I do appreciate that. A quick reminder, if you ever need to catch any recaps or find out where to follow me, you can also go to my website. And I don't offer private readings. I like to remind people of that because there's a lot of imposters out there that claim to be me but are not. All right, with all of that being said, thanks for showing up, folks. Let me just take a quick look because I think we got a couple of folks that gave back, so I want to make sure I acknowledge them. So let's see. To Angela, welcome, brand new channel member there. Nancy, welcome to you as well. Renita, thank you for the sticker. Lenina, I think it is. Thank you for the sticker as well. Nancy, I appreciate that. Not only you remember, but you gave back, and you gave back quite generously. So thank you for both. I see that. Mel, thanks for your contribution. Linda, Dark Shadows, and Megan or Megan, thank you as well. You guys rock. I was just coming here to say hello. Really nice to get the surprise of some additional support there. All right, everybody, that's it for today. All of the November and December readings are live on the main channel, so do check them out if you haven't. I'm going to sit here for a couple moments and get tomorrow's one card reading fully finished, and I'll post that probably in the next hour or two. And in the meantime, wishing you lots of love and light, and let's make this a great December, folks. Can't wait to see you again soon in a future video. Thanks, and by the way, I saw your contribution there at the end. All right, take care, everyone. Have a good one. Bye-bye.